Welcome to the fifth segment of the video, the fifth part of the lecture. We are still discussing differentiation rules, differentiation formulas, derivative formulas, and currently we will talk about the chain rule, which is also called chain rule method. So it's a way to derivate the typical kind of functions which involves, let's say, more than one operation on independent variable. Listen carefully my words, more than one variable on independent variable. Yes, because look at this function, capital F of x is equal to x square plus 1, right? And this function can be considered as part of two functions. One function is x square plus 1, which makes x square plus 1 out of x, right? Which maps x to x square plus 1, and the other function is it maps x square plus 1 to its square root. So this square root of x square plus 1 can be taken or can be considered as combination of two functions, and if we name them these functions separately as x square plus 1, if I name this function as g of x or u and square root is small f or y, then capital F of x, capital F of x will be equal to y, and y is equal to f of u, where u is equal to g of this x, and this is nothing but the composition of f and g. So capital F can be, this function can be written as f composition g. So first you apply g and then you apply x. It means if you apply g on the x, and g is x squared plus 1, so you apply x squared plus 1 and then f, and f is like square root of your given input. So this, in the end, you get same as this capital F. Now chain rule is basically how do you compute derivative of a function which is given in as a composition of two or even more than two functions. So this is what chain rule method is. And in your college, let's say mathematics, or if you are aware about this chain rule method or the chain rule simply, you perhaps use this one. So you want to find derivative of y with respect to x, and you see the y is depending upon u, so du over dy over du over dx. And this formula, or this, let's say, relation, again comes from the basic definition of the derivative, which is classical definition of that limit problem. Okay. In formal way, it is written like this one, and remember, capital F is a function of f and g are composition like this one. Now this is basically definition of this composition, how this composition is defined. You first apply g and then you apply f. Okay. All right, this is Leibniz notation, this is prime notation or notation. Now look at the same example. How do you find derivative of this? What do you do? 1 over 2, the power, this is equal to x square plus 1 power 1 by 2. So you take power as a coefficient, x square plus 1 by 2 minus 1. This is how you find derivative of the square root of the x. Now this is not x, this is another, let's say, function x square. So you find derivative of this function again. So x square plus 1 derivative, and 1 over 2, let me remove this, 1 over 2 times, and this is minus 1 by 2, so x square plus 1 power minus 1 by 2 times derivative of this whole term is 2x plus 0, derivative of 1 is 0, and this minus 1 by 2 is square root and in, let's say, denominator. So 1 by 2 x square plus 1 by 2 negative power will be positive, like 2x, and this is equal to 2 cancel. Your answer should be 1 over x square plus 1 square root. Right? So this is how you do, and if you want to write in a, let's say, formal way, compare with f and g. So let's, g is x square, this is your g, and this is f, it involves u. So you find derivative of u and then derivative of x, and this is chain rule formula in different notation. And what you, let's say, write to like is, आप कौन सा पसंद करते हैं फार्मूला लिखना, df with respect to du, ठीक, and du with respect to dx. So u is basically g. Okay. Alright, so simple example 1, and this is the same answer which we already got in the blue fonts, blue handwriting, and we are done. You can use chain rule to find second order derivative, third order derivative, or higher order derivative. So this is very useful rule, and there is a generalization of nth order. I wouldn't emphasize more on this one, but just go through this particular example, and I'm not even explaining this, so yeah, just check it out and how it is. Okay, so in the end, the question is how this chain rule is proved. So where is the proof of this chain rule method using basic definition or whatsoever? So this is left as an exercise, and I hope you will like doing this exercise. Thank you. See you in the next lecture.